Welcome back to Web Gaming Entertainment, everyone. My name is Walter. I am the lead designer and programmer for the game Tech Executive Tycoon. And I come to you today to showcase the product creation process of the game. So this is officially our Monday update, our end of the month video update, all in one. So let's take a ride real quick. In this game, I want to show you some of the stuff that has been worked on this particular month, and we're going to be going into the month of March actually working on a lot of things under the hood. So we'll be going into more detail about that, but at the end of this video I'm going to explain just briefly about what the plans are for this coming month. So without further ado, I actually already took the opportunity to buy all the items that I wanted to use. So this screen is the one you go to buy your furnishings from or for your office. So right now there's quite a few items in, many more that will be added later, but what I did purchase was a few of the cubicles that I am, by the way, side note, I do some speed modeling videos, a few of them every now and again, and I put them on my YouTube channel, so if you want to see those, check them out. But this is one of the ones I did in there, which is the sleek cubicle desk. But then back to the game, I want to speak about different types of desks. There's really only two different types of desk. The one which is the main desk for your positions like HR, departments like HR, finance, sales, marketing. But there's also the engineering desk. Now, engineers in the game work quite differently than the other employees, so they're more specialized, obviously. So in the game, they have their own desk, and I did purchase a few of those. I purchased some of these. So I did get a few, and I got a few executive desks. But of course, this is the process you actually go through and purchase different things. There's going to be obviously there's going to be more computers and more chairs. And I also picked up some extra furnishings on the side. And some of these will have function. For example, the cabinets will have function. And I'll go into some detail in another update for that. But this is another one of the items I actually did a speed model of, as well as a cabinet. So we grabbed a few of those. Now we're just going to actually jump in. I'm going to hire a few people real fast. Actually, let's go ahead and place our desk, and then we can come back in and work on that. So how I've been doing it, and this is really one of the offices which is still to be polished, if you will, because there's going to be more things added to give it that, you know, that feel as if though it's been lived in, if you will, or if it's more realistic. So won't go too crazy there though, because again, it is a simulation game, so we're not really trying to, you know, go overboard. But let's go ahead and jump in and just designate which rooms we want to be what. I would designate this as a regular office and this as an office. This will be my engineering room. This will be sort of like a break room, I guess. So let's do it. Let's see. Let's start with our engineering room. Now, one thing I will be doing, as I'll speak to you while I do this, I'm going to be making specifically the engineering room look a little more like an engineering room. So right now it's just pretty bland, and I don't have a lot of things in the game for the engineering room to make it look more like one, but that is to come. So right now we're just going to place a few things, or just place the basic desk, if you will, into the rooms and do it like that. So there we go. Right, and I'm going to talk a bit about how placing it works, the way the system I have in right now. Essentially, you just grab a desk off the menu and you place a desk. And the thing is, you have to, before you can hire someone, this is where you would, well, not hire, but assign someone to this desk. It recognizes that you have to have a chair. If you don't have a chair, clearly no one can sit down. So you have to buy a chair. Then this actually becomes available for where we would be only able to hire a research software or hardware engineer. So right now, of course, I don't have anyone hired yet, so we can't really assign anyone to that desk. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is just keep placing these desks real quick. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and finish up. Okay, and then I'll do one more. Okay. And now, again, it's going to be another feature in the game, too, that goes something like this. Each room that you, each room in the office that you have has, it's like self-aware. So once you build a desk into that room, that desk is aware. I hate to say that the desk is aware, but the desk is aware of where it is. As a result, the employee that sits at that desk will know where he is. And what that's going to do is basically share information between employees, so to speak. So an employee will know if he shares a room with another employee or a few. An employee will also know if he actually has his own office. So as a result, that sort of thing plays a part in the game. I just wanted to share that with you. We'll go into more detail about that at a later date. I think it's a pretty cool feature because it gives your employees more personality. Some people will rather work in their own office. Others won't mind so much. And we'll talk about how that will work. But let's go ahead and hurry up and get some more of these things placed in. So let's go ahead and start placing the cubicles. This is one thing I'm sort of excited about because I don't know. I just like the whole office setting. Maybe it's just me. But for whatever reason, I do like cubicles. Partly why I built them into the game. But yeah, I don't know. Don't ask. I have no real clue as to why that is. But it's pretty cool. But you can flip your desks. I'm trying to give as much freedom as possible to the placement of these things. And it's free building, so it's not connected to a grid. That way you can literally place these things wherever you want. Of course, if they start to intersect with other objects, they will be, I hate to say aware again, but it's it's a game. But it will be aware of that and allow you to, or well, let you know that you can't quite build it there. For case in point here, I'm going to show you. Well, as you see, it turns red, so it won't work once you try to play. Of course, we're going to change the sound. That will get annoying after a while, so I would actually spare you guys that awesome sound effect there. So I'm gonna actually place this pretty far away from the other set. Okay, and one more, at least one more. Might do more in a minute, but right now I just really want to place these four and move past this part. Okay. All right, now what we're gonna do is start doing some furnishings too. But I want to put a desk, an executive desk in here real fast. And again, the desk itself too will have like certain grades. So some employees might, be upset with different types of desk. Although I'm sort of deciding on that because one thing I don't want to do to you, the player, is force you to buy certain things or to furnish an office a certain way in order for gameplay purposes. So I'm trying to make sure I really find that sweet spot for that, because that is a concern of mine. I don't like to be forced into doing certain things, so I definitely don't want to do that to you all. So let me start placing a few. Actually, before I do that, let me just finish up without the desk. I know this is taking a quick second, so might skip through a few of these. Let's see. Okay. Okay, all right. Think that's about it. Let's go ahead and start with some furnishings here. And I'm sort of taking you guys through the process because I want to at least show you a little bit more than I'm used to showing you. Of course, there's gonna be more to come along with this. Of course, when we really start to dig into some detailed gameplay, which I'm going to get to in just a second actually. So I'm going to break the video up into two sections so that you can see the different facets. So this is essentially obviously the building mode, if you will. Alright, so I placed a few of those. Let's place some of this stuff. Let's see, get a chair or two in here. Make it start to feel a little more like an office. Okay, let's see here. Okay, it's real touchy there, so find a sweet spot here. Forgive me, and that thing is, it doesn't help that I have a little bit of an OCD issue. So I always like to place things a certain way. So you'll find me taking plenty of time just to get something just right. Alright, so again, like I said before, these will have actual function in the game, and I'll get into some of that again down the road, but it definitely will, and so you'll see more about that in the future. Let's see if I can place one of these right here. It might not be necessary, but no, and I'm pretty sure I can't now that I think about it, but I will place one of these. Let's see, And you know, you can decorate your office however you want. And that's another reason why I did the free placement, because I really wanted to give that freedom to the player to do that. So, okay, I mean, granted that plant there doesn't really look the greatest. And I will be putting in a module where you can actually move stuff around after you place it, and obviously sell it or take it away. So right now I don't have that in the game just yet, but that will be there. That's an easy thing to put in, so we'll get there. Let's go ahead and place a few more things here. I want that there. I don't want it over here. I probably want it over here. Okay. So just to showcase a little bit of this. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, I think that's good for now, and we'll get over now, or get to the point where we want to start placing stuff. Well, actually, one more thing. Yeah, again, that is OCD thing. I want to sort of give your engineers place it. Now, the thing with the seats are they can be sat on. I'm trying to decide if it's going to make sense to keep that functionality in. The break rooms, of course, are fully functioning, so during break time, your employees do take breaks and they will go to one of these chairs and sit down. But as far as these chairs, I'm debating if it's absolutely necessary or not. We'll see if there's any meaningful gameplay function that they can have. If not, then it won't be used. All right, so I think that's good. I can kind of go all day building up the offices or furnishing the offices. So let's stop there and let's actually start hiring some people. So let's dive into the employee dialogue here, or hiring dialogue here. So with the hiring, again, I think I sort of went over some of this with you before, but you obviously choose which department you want to hire for, and it's really a two-step process, because you'll hire employees and they'll sit in sort of like a, don't want to say queue, but more of like a just in like a limbo type place until you actually assign them a desk. So they do not benefit your company until you actually assign them a desk. So let's go ahead and hire a few people. What I want to do is hire some salespeople. So I'm actually going to grab one HR person, and we'll let them be a HR manager. And we'll go over this more in another time. I've done this before, so I don't want to just keep rehashing old information for those who have seen it before. So I am going to hire a few marketing people because I want to show you the beginning of that process too. I do have that in the game right now, so I'm going to go over a little bit of that. So we're going to get some product marketing. This person has 2.1 years experience. Intelligence is considered brilliant. Problem solving considered highly skilled. They have 9. I think that's going to be considered right. 9.5 years. So 9.5 years of work experience related to this field. Managerial experience is 2.1 years, by the way. And their main skill, or the skill that they're the best at, is product marketing. Because they all have the same skills, but at different levels. So what you'll see when you see these, like product marketing and company marketing, negotiation, that those things are their best skills. So this sort of gives you the player an idea of what this, employee's greatest skill is. So I'm going to actually hire them as a marketing manager. And then let's see who else we have. She's supposed to go away, but we'll fix that bug. 1.9 years. I'm going to make him just a analyst. 3.2 years experience. Let's go ahead and grab Jermaine. Not a lot of experience. Not much at all. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Company marketing. All right. And one more person. That's 6.6 years, 2.2 years. Fair, good. Okay. Product marketing. Good stuff. Okay, so we're going to actually assign these folks to desk. I might. Oh, yes, actually we forgot our engineers. Haha. Might be a good idea. Let's get rid of that. All right, so R&D. Let's see. What we need, though, is hardware, because we're not really focusing on... she's going to be really good. So let's go ahead and place her as a hardware engineer. Hire her. Let's grab another hardware engineer. Of course, you see a lot of similar faces. It's going to be more characters in the game. It's just right now only have a few, just for the sake of testing and things like that. So it's going to be way more variety. Right now, you're going to see a lot of similar faces. So don't mind that. What do you have? Software. We're going to get the guy with hardware. So let's go hardware employee. Good and fair. We need researchers though, so I'm going to actually grab both these twins for research. Yeah, and so what actually that's an actual gameplay feature. If you don't hire actual research related employees, you won't be able to, well, let's put it this way. You can hire anybody for whatever position you want. So let's say this software guy, but we need ourselves a hardware guy. We can hire him as a hardware engineer. It may not make him happy, so to speak, but he will still do the job, of course, and you can just assume that it's clear that his software skill is going to be better than his hardware skill. So essentially you're wasting talent, but companies do that all the time. So we need one more research person. In fact, we'll just do that actually for the sake of showcasing that. We'll hire him as a research engineer. Okay, now let's assign these folks to desks. And that's, by the way, let's hit play. Might be a good idea. So let's see. All we do is hit the not occupied research development. We can move these windows. Gonna actually tweak that up a little bit so that the movement function will be a little bit more smooth. Now, as you can see, it's off-centered there, but we're fixing that. That's a bug. So let's go ahead and assign our hardware engineer here, one of them. Let's go ahead and assign another. Let's see. Okay, if I can press the button without moving the window. Let's see, hardware. Here they come. And they're a little glitchy, so don't mind the employees. Just at the moment, we're fixing that as well. Alright, so we're assigning them. They come right in, get to work right away. However, they don't work, well, they're there working, so to speak. You can almost assume that they're practicing, I guess, or sort of just doing mundane things, because until you assign them to a project, they're not really doing much meaningful things. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and get to some of that too. So let me hurry up and get this process done. Let's hire, or not hire, but assign a few of our people. Marketing. I think she was our manager anyway. We'll find out. Hopefully I didn't put her in the wrong spot. So let's do the rest of these. I'm just going to assign them to their desk. Bingo. All right. Now, what you'll notice too, and there's going to be more information I divulge to you with these windows. Actually, I didn't want to click that. I wanted to click her. And they're pretty big right now. This window's going to shrink. It's one of the windows I haven't gotten to quite yet. But the information you're going to see is going to be just a little bit more information than what you see here now. But as you can see, whenever you click them, you'll be able to at least get a quick view of, what makes them tick and what their skills are. This obviously won't be loaded. They're sliders, so you'll see exactly how happy they are, and it's gonna be considered their happiness bar down here. So they'll have a happiness related to benefits, a happiness related to comfort, which has everything to do with their office, their chair, their desk, things like that. Their salary, depending on how well you pay them compared to the global average, if you will, or the position average, that's going to determine their salary happiness. Company prestige, how prestigious your company is. Some employees are more into that than others, so this will reflect that. Their workload. Now, every employee in the game will have a workload, so depending on what you have assigned to them specifically or assigned to their department, it's going to be reflected there. Company happiness, that's their overall happiness within your company, and I'll go into more details about that. It is different than the company prestige. We'll talk about that in a bit. In another update. Now, personal, that's the one thing you cannot control. So this is the thing that is random. It's dependent on their life. So it's something you can't control as a CEO. So you really can't do much to manage that other than make sure that they're happy in other areas. Okay, and we'll talk about in another video or in another update about the employee happiness overall. Okay, so there's that. Everybody's here. Everybody's sort of like working, I guess you can say. We do need to assign one last person though, and it's our HR person. So let's assign her. Now, what you'll see when we assign them a desk, they get what I call desk clutter. So, and this does have in-game function. It's more of a feedback thing for you than it is anything else. And as you can see, she has a lot of paperwork on her desk. What that means is that she is not so much overwhelmed, but she has a lot. Well, you can say that. The more paper she has on her desk, the more overwhelmed she typically will be. And again, that will be reflected in her workload. It's not going to show now because that functionality is not quite finished being put into the game, but that will be reflected there as well. But you know, just in case you're one of those people who do not like to go fishing through menus all the time, there will be some in-game visual clues to let you know what's going on. Okay, so now let's actually make a product. Okay, and as you can see, time is passing, our money is going down, and I have yet to flesh the rest of this budget out because there's more things that, you know, you will see here, and there will be another button to go into a detailed budget so that you can really see what's happening financially. But you also have finance employees, and we'll talk about the connection between the two of those at a later date. So let's go ahead and start a product. Let's create a product. But before we do that, our researchers have to research things to give us the ability to do certain things. Now, we have researchers and they have skills, but we have to apply their skills to something. So let's go ahead and go to our research window, and I did change this completely, in fact. So the very last update you got about research is actually quite different now. So I'm going to take this opportunity to talk a little bit about that. And this is a little bit of a long video, so I hope you guys you know, don't mind going through a long video of just what's going on with Tech Executive Tycoon. So technology power, technology speed, technology memory. This is really what I wanted to get to in this update, to really break down how products work, how the research works, and how it connects with how the two connect. So here we go as I take a deep breath. Okay, technology power concerns everything with the potency of your technology. So when you think of CPUs, or central processing units, for those who are not considered techies, if you will, this is things like your core power, so to speak, like instructions per second. Now I'm really going to get into some technical things, but again, in the game, it's going to be made simple for you. So don't worry if you're not really tech savvy. It's going to be made simple for you. So let's just jump into here real quick. Now, some things visually are going to change, but for the most part, this is what it will look like. And there's going to be 4 levels, which may increase as, you know, time goes on. Who knows? But right now, everything, each of those 3 trees that you just saw, so let's go back. They each have 2 trees within them that you can go down. Now, you don't see a lot of information being shared with you on this screen, and that will change. It will be more information presented to you to let you know exactly what will do what research will do what. So normally what you will see when I hover over any of these, you will see a tooltip pop up to let you know exactly what you can expect with that technology by researching that technology. But for now, for the sake of example, I'm just going to go ahead and click on some, and I have it accelerated right now, so it's researching very, 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 very fast. At the end, when the game releases, it will not go anywhere near this fast. Research will be, you know, a slower process. But I'm going to actually research everything. And now that has when the game releases, that will have gameplay ramifications. So the more items you research at a time, it's going to slow down the progress depending on how many people you have, how many researchers you have. So you want to have enough researchers to do research at a certain speed, but more importantly, you want to have skilled researchers. Okay, so let's do this again. Let's go in, and I'll just talk a little bit about each side. So for the power, for the tech power research, left side is considered core tech, which I'm going to actually change the name of that, because what this side really focuses on, as you can see, is researching multi-threading. And what multi-threading does is, I'm not really going to go into all that right now. You guys who are tech savvy already know that. And those of you who are not, you will know once you play. So it's going to be kind of spoon-fed to you a little bit, the information side of things. Okay. So this is more so concerned with the quantity of cores that you can get, as well as multi-threading. The right-hand side is more concerned with the actual power per core. that you create. So if you're one to want to quickly get to multi-core CPUs, then you're probably going to take the left side. If you're one who really wants to get to there's a sound effect there. If you really want to get to maximizing the power of just one core, or each core, then you're going to probably take the right hand side. Both have a benefit to them, and for the customers who are buying these CPUs, there's really a market for both. So the thing is, we're going to go into technical and strategic elements of the game at another time. I don't really want to waste a lot of time doing that right now. We'll get into that as time goes on. But there it is. So you have that research. Oh yeah, by the way, let's go over just a few more things. And I have it where this thing is up. It's going to keep making this noise, so just bear with me for that, because everything is researching so fast. But technology speed, just to quickly go over that, your cycles per second, which is like hertz in real life. So just consider that to be that. This is researching that. So this is how you continue to be able to make faster and faster CPUs. On the right hand side is heat management. So this actually allows you to manage the heat generated from the increased power or heat generation that comes naturally with CPUs. So the more you research this side, the more you can do without having to worry about your CPUs overheating, your customers being upset, and things like that. So you're going to want to focus on both, to be honest with you. But you guys will decide that when the game releases. Memory, we have cache, which is I don't want to go into too much detail on that, but again, I'll take time to explain that in a later video. But then you also have the memory side, which increases the memory capabilities of your CPU, like the capacity, so to speak. And we'll go into that again at a later date. But right now, they all are very important to CPUs. CPUs rely on all those things and more. But of course, we simulate some of the other things, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a minute. So we started research. We're actually, let's see how far along we are right now. Not that far along, but we can still do some things. And I'm still tweaking the research, so it's going to I'm still working on what will be gained from each specific research. And I want to make sure that each thing gives you something meaningful. So right now, we can actually start the process of creating a product. So I'm going to actually do that. Okay. So in the game right now for release, the plan is to have just 5 different products that you can create. That will increase as time goes on, of course, past release. But right now, CPUs, central processing units, GPUs, graphics processing units, personal computers, not 2 personal computers, by the way. This is supposed to be consoles. So consoles, game consoles, and then video games. These are the things that you can expect to make when the game releases. Okay? Right now, for the sake of this example, we're going to actually obviously create a CPU. And by the way, the research is not just, let me go back real quick just to explain that. Research is not just these. There's going to be arrows here so that you can actually research other things related to those other products. Okay, the only caveat to that is that computers won't rely too much on research, because what you'll be fitting into those computers are CPUs that either you made or other companies have made, which will actually feed the quality and the certain things about the computer. So you got your GPUs, your CPUs, hard drives, you got motherboards, things like that that you have to fit into a computer that's going to dictate how good that computer is. But we'll get into that obviously at a later date. Not right now, because we're not ready at this moment to do that. So, but just so you know, this is not it as far as research goes. There's going to be many more things that you can research. Alright, so let's go ahead and start a product. And now, this is the part I really want to talk to you about, because in the game, I sort of gave an update about this. Actually, it was one of the Monday updates. In the game, you will be creating, actually, once it gets past, I'm going to stop that noise from happening. I want it to go past PowerTech 1, and then I'll stop so that you can quit hearing that chime go off over and over again. We're going to change that sound to make it sound. Well, then again, we won't be changing it. It's just going to be less frequent anyway, so you won't have to worry about being annoyed by that. But anyway, let's go ahead and create the CPU. The thing about it is there's a you see the option new product line, and you see the option existing line. Okay, the best way I can explain this is if you look at companies who actually make CPUs like Intel and AMD, things like that. Case in point with Intel, they have I think it's Atom. They have an Atom line. They have a Centrum line. They used to have a Pentium line. If they don't still have one, I don't think they still have a Pentium line. Either way, those are product lines because you get different version of that same line. So Pentium 4, and then you had like different versions of that, I guess. So the same thing will happen here. We don't have any existing ones right now because this is our first time making one. So we're going to actually create a new line as well as a new product. When doing that, you have to actually create the line name. So this is actually the creation of the line. So we're going to call this one, for the sake of example, our heat line. Okay, our heat series, I'm going to call it. Okay, and then the name of the actual CPU will be Xfire 1 or something like that. And maybe the next one will be Xfire 2 or something. Who knows? But let's go ahead and create it. And now we're into the screen where we actually create the product. Now, I know this is a weird looking UI situation here, but it's a work in progress. Okay, so just bear with me. But as you can see, what my goal is with this is to actually make it intuitive enough so that somebody coming in who doesn't know anything about technology will be able to come in here and still be able to create a product and understand what they're doing. So there's 3 phases that you'll be worried about in this game related to CPU. That's power, speed, and memory. Okay, right now we've only researched but so far. So what we're going to do is just take the options we have. Right now we only have research to be able to provide 1 core into a CPU, or put 1 core into a CPU. We don't have multi-core functionality yet, or the know-how, if you will, from research. So we're limited to that. Also, I think with the speed we do have some options, and we do. And this is where we're going to talk about that heat generation. Every CPU that you make will generate heat based on the things you set for it. Okay, so in this case, you can see this number here. It lets you know exactly how much heat is generated per CPS per cycle per second, if you will, and it's just for gameplay purposes. So we have 900 kilocycles at this point. That's the max that we've researched to. Not very fast, and mind you, don't look at this year. This year that's not functioning just yet. So consider this to be like in the past, maybe 1975 or 1980. So back then speeds weren't what they are today. So just think of it from that standpoint. Now this, I don't have, it's not researched, so this won't be actually going up at this point until we research it. Once we research it, then we will actually unlock the L1 cache. And again, for those who don't know tech, it will be self-explanatory for you when the game comes out, or explained to you in a way that is easy for you to do what you do. Okay, so now it's time to pick the team that's going to work on it. We only have 2 engineers, hardware engineers, so those are only 2 people that's going to show up as an option to put onto the project. So let us go ahead and actually, before I do that, I just showed you this right now. Let's see how far we've researched, and then we're going to actually jump right back in and see if we've unlocked a few other things. And we have. So let's stop the research so we can stop the chime, and that way we can actually see what new options have unlocked for us. And again, research won't go this fast, so you never run into a situation where you're in the middle of making a product and by the time you're done, you've researched so much more that you can actually make a better product. So that won't be a situation. But let's jump back in. Thing is, it should keep my information, and it did. So we're gonna recreate that product line. It's not actually created until you actually finish this process. So you don't have to worry about duplicating entries. But right now, we still only have 1 core. But we should have more options here, and we do. We've actually researched into megacycles, which in real life situation is megahertz. So just think of it like that. Okay, so the cost that's going to generate for us is about $13.82 per core, or per CPU. So when we start to manufacture the CPUs, our total cost is going to be down here per CPU. So you're going to want to set your price to be obviously higher than that, because you want to, make a profit, not go into the red. So we, of course, yet haven't researched the L1, so we're going to just forego that. That's a bug, by the way, so don't worry about that. We'll get that straightened away in no time. So this is your product's final details, some things that you're going to want to know. Your power per core right now sits at 1.5. So essentially what that is your, which is going to be different, by the way. It won't be in a fraction, it'll be in just whole numbers, but that's your instructions per second. So that's how powerful your 1 core is. So you can see how that gets into, we can get into strategy when you're competing with other companies. If they have, let's say, a power core that only has a score of 1.1, or let's say 1, not 1.1, but 1, versus your 1.5 or 2, but they have two multi-core, so they have 2 cores versus your 1. You can still make your CPU better than theirs because yours is a little more powerful. But there's different things that you have to do to make it more powerful. So just because a person has a multi-core CPU doesn't mean that they have the fastest one. But we'll talk about all that stuff later. I know I get a little long-winded sometimes, but we're going to go ahead and keep going. So I'm going to actually click this. Assign Alice to the lead engineer. Your lead engineer is very, 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 very important. Okay? I can't stress that enough. As you'll see. In fact, you have to assign someone to lead engineer. But just signing anyone isn't going to really do you any good. Of course, you want them to have skills. So we're going to assign Alice there. Okay. Michael, we're going to assign as our other engineer. So these are only 2 people working on this CPU. Now, once you hire more people, you can get up to 4 people. And, you know, it's pretty cool. Now, here's the part that's going to be interesting because, and this all goes into the strategy of it all too. The thing about making products in Tech Executive Tycoon is that, in my opinion, it's not like many other games because it's going to be detailed enough to really employ strategy, but not too detailed to make a person just rage quit or anything like that. Everything is going to make sense. Everything is going to work together, and you're going to have to think your way through, you know, how do I strategically make this what I need to make it. So when it comes to products, you have to understand that employees play a huge part in a product. So, for example, if your company is making a CPU and another company, the AI, is making the exact same CPU, what's going to differentiate the 2 CPUs is the teams working on it. And I'll go into a lot more detail about that at a later date. I have it already set, but I'm going to actually be very long-winded with it because it takes a little bit of explaining. But with the CPUs, you can set, the last screen was easy. You can set whatever you want to set. You can make it as fast as you want. You can make it as powerful as you want. You can make it as, you know, however many, you know, memory, how much memory you want to have on it. That's all fine and dandy. However, the team that you assign to it is the ones that's going to make it sing. And in fact, this screen, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this screen, which has a lot to do with that. So first of all, the development schedule. I have to actually fix some of this because the information presented to you is not enough. So this is going to be how long you want to take to develop this product. Now, there's going to be another part to this window where you have your employees who are working on this product tell you what they think it's going to take or how long they think it should take. Because obviously they're the ones who are working on it. So you're going to want to get their feedback on it. So I'm going to set this for 1 year. You can go all the way up to 3 years, I believe. I set that too. Yeah, 3 years. Right, so, oops, didn't mean to do that. Okay, so, I gotta fix that, by the way. So, we want to set that to 12 months. And then now you're going to designate the 3 phases of product development. The concept and design stage, the development stage, and then the quality and assurance stage. Each of these stages works on different facets of the product. The concept and design stage is probably one of the most important ones because this is where I was talking about your product versus their product. This concept stage actually builds or prepares, or it's like the planning stage, so to speak. So it's the part where all the brain power on how this product should be developed is going into it. So this is where your lead engineer is probably the most critical. Because they have a lot to do with this. So what this stage does, the concept and design stage, this actually creates what is really real in the real world, microarchitecture. So this is pretty much the layout of your CPU. This is the phase where they work on that. So if this stage is adequately scheduled out, you give yourself the best chance of building the CPU as efficient as possible. So the planning stage has a lot to do with that. The development stage does too, but more importantly, the concept stage is the stage that focuses primarily on building the architecture of your CPU. So whoever has the better architecture stands the best chance of making the better CPU. Just know that. And we'll get into some more details like that later on. But I do want you guys' feedback on that because I want to make sure that the game is not too hard, yet I don't want it to be too easy. So here I am working hard to try to find that sweet spot. So your feedback is going to be priceless. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you on that. So out of the time that you set, we set 12 months. Now you got to set how much time you want to spend on each facet of the development. Okay, so I'm going to set the most time on the development of the product, the least time on the quality and assurance, and middle ground on concept and design. Now, development stage is obviously the part where they're building actually building the CPO to standard, to the specifications. The quality and assurance stage is very important too, because there's the aftermath part. So once you make the product, you have to make sure that it's a properly functioning product and that it's durable, that it's user-friendly, things like that. That's what the quality assurance stage is. And when you look at games, this is the part where they're testing bugs and things like that, making sure the quality and the technical side of things are up to snuff. So you want to definitely allocate enough time for that too. But I think we're done here. Let's go ahead and hit begin. The product is in development. Now you can watch, and it's going to actually bug out on me here. Got to get that right. You can watch the progress of it right here. Okay. And, oops. We're going to get that to fix. I got to fix that. It's a bug right now with this. So there we go. Now it's set. Okay. So we have 16 weeks left for the concept stage. So time is going by. And this is another part of the game where I'm trying to balance everything out because I don't want the game to actually crawl. However, with a game like this, you know, you have to let things happen. But we have multiple speed levels of speed, and I'm going to actually add a third one to help you pass the time by faster if you want to. So the product is in development, and it's going to go by weeks. So every week you'll actually progress, and you progress, and you progress until the product is done. We did choose a year, so around March of 2015 this product will be done. Again, there will be faster speeds for you to choose, so it won't crawl, because right now you can actually imagine how long this will actually take you in game time, which I do believe is around 2 hours. Yeah, so we don't want you to have to spend so much time in game just to finish one product. However, though, we can actually go to the next phase, which is what I want to show you, and I'm going to show you that right now. So we have our marketing people, and we're going to actually go now to that and market the product. So in order to market the product, you actually have to open it up. So let's go here, and these are going to be a little more expressive as well. I have no tooltips over these so that you'll know what you're pressing. But this is all the products that this screen or window here is for all the products that you've created to date, so that you can manage all your products. And so the CPUs would be here, the GPUs would be there, computers, consoles, games, and the other things that we're going to be adding down the road. But right now we just have a CPU, a lonely CPU. Let's go ahead and click that. And as you saw the date on there, that date is to show when it was created. Not when it was released, but when it was created. Now this window is going to be very detailed. As you can see, it's only small, but we can actually open up some more windows. Okay. All right, that was supposed to be the icon there. So this is the basic information that you selected for the product. So we chose, it has one core. Its instructions per second, which I need to fix, of course, is 1, because you really don't have 1.5 instructions. You can't have a half of an instruction go out on a CPU, so it's going to be in whole numbers. So we have 1.5 instructions per second. There is no multi-threading on this CPU. Cycles per second is 2,000, so that's 2 megabytes, or yeah, our mega cycles, we're going to call them in the game, not megahertz, but it's the equivalent of megahertz in real life. So 2 megacycles, and then the heat that this card generates, or chip generates, is 17 out of 100. Once you get to 100, then it's hot. It's overheating all the time. So you definitely want to keep this number as low as possible, and there's a way to do that, again, by researching heat management is one way, and then I think we're going to figure out some other ways. This doesn't really have cache, so ignore this down here. Yeah, don't worry about that. And then there's a cache hit percentage. This is all real life stuff, by the way. But again, right now I'm just showing you the progress we have made up to this point. I'm going to make it more understandable for those who do not know. But right now we have a 55.2% hit percentage on this CPU. So I'll go into what that means later. But anybody who is into tech will already know what that means. Okay. So for statistics, we're going to actually be showing a lot more than this. This is just what I have in right now. Total reach lifetime, so you're gonna know exactly how many people have heard of this product. It's gonna be more ballpark. Obviously, there's no way to really know exactly how many people have heard of your product, but you will get a ballpark of how far your campaigns, your marketing campaigns have reached. That's the lifetime number, then the total customers. So this will be a little more accurate to show you exactly the total number of customers that you've reached. Total lifetime sales, that's the total number of sales, clearly. Most of it is self-explanatory. Now, the current demand. So once the product releases, if you've done a good job marketing, this is going to be pretty good. As the product's life cycle continues to pass, this will probably continue to go down. In fact, it will. Okay, and then you get review scores. Companies around the world who review publications, they review products. This will show you the average of all the review scores this product has ever gotten, and then the market lifetime, how long it's been on the market, right there. So now that part's done. Let's jump over to the sales and marketing options. We have no sales and marketing campaign going right now, so the option is to create one, and that's what we're going to do right now, just to show you exactly how the process will work. The actual detailed functionality of it, once we choose all of our options, though, I will have to show you at a later date. So right now we can have, and don't mind the fact that there's 7 employees on here, it's only going to be 5 that you can choose from. 1 person to manage the project and 4 people to actually run it. So let's go ahead and start. And for this, something I really couldn't wait to show you guys. Oh, you know what? There's a bug on there. It's supposed to actually change, but I'll still go over with you right now. So there's 3 ways to market. You can market locally, you can market regionally, and you can market worldwide. Okay, so let me show you how we're going to do that. Now, what I will explain to you is that normally when we have local, the regional buttons will not be showing. Okay, just these city buttons. And for the record, the city buttons here will actually have a name next to it, so you can know exactly where you're marketing. The good news is, for the sake of this demonstration, though, you can actually see right up top here where exactly these locations are. So I think we have Vancouver. Actually, I got to go to where I can actually press them. Are they not working? Okay, I have to come back and show you guys that then, because I can't choose. So we're actually going to market in Washington. Let's market in Washington. Why not? Okay, we can choose the length of our campaign, and up to 6 months per campaign. So we're just going to choose 3-month campaign, and we're going to choose just radio ads for now. So when you click on the type of ads you want to do, or the type of outlets, if you will, it will show you the price that it's going to cost you for that specific location. It will change per location, by the way. Okay, so the next thing, which I skipped one step, wherever you choose, by the way, let's go ahead and hit region so I can see if these buttons are at least working. No. Okay, so my buttons are not working at the moment, guys, but when they do, what would happen is we would just simply obviously be able to choose the location, and the cost and things like that will reflect that specific location and the demographics there and things like that. Okay, so the next thing is, I showed you the campaign length, but now we need to choose the team. Oh, there we go. All right, so we have a bunch. These are not showing yet, but again, there's another bug, so we're going to fix that so that you guys will see exactly what you need to see. Actually, let me see something here. Okay, so I'm going to choose her. Let's see what she has. She has a high leadership skill, high communication skill, high organization skill. So I think she's a good choice. Now let's choose. I think she was our manager, in fact. So that's a perfect choice. Then we could choose Adam. Not a lot of skill. Let's see. Jermaine. Oh, these titles also are a little bit wrong. So it's not marketing advertising. What it's going to be is product marketing and experience. So the bottom one is product marketing. The top one is experience. So apparently Jermaine is not the greatest at that specific skill. So in fact, if I'm not mistaken, I don't even know if they're targeting the right skill. So ignore that for now, guys. You still get the idea of what it's going to be like when it's all polished up for you. So there you go. And if you want to, choose again, you can, kick that person out, for which I did not fix that right. So, all right. And also, what you'll be able to do in addition to this is to choose the funding that you want to add to the project. Now, this will have a gameplay function. Sometimes you just have the base cost of the marketing campaign, but if you add funding to it, it sort of enhances the tools that are being used. For example, your marketing team has tools that they use to actually do what they do. And the more you fund the project, the more you give them a chance to provide the best toward their campaign. So there's that. And then you would hit start. The campaign would begin. The information would pop up here. You'll see the length of it is 12 weeks long, which is that should be longer than that. 12 weeks. Oh yeah, no, that's absolutely right. It's 3-month campaign. So 12 weeks. And then the total campaign cost is very inexpensive. It's just radio, which is going to be shown here too. So some information that you're not seeing that will be shown. So there you go. And then the campaign would start at this point, starting to spread the word about your product, even as it's in development. And as you can see, we're 7 weeks into the concept stage, or we're actually not 7 weeks into it. We have 7 weeks left in the concept stage, and we're already in the red. So again, we're gonna make sure it's all balanced out. But then again, there's gonna be other ways to make money until you're ready and capable financially to actually start building your product. So we'll talk more about that at a later date. But this is just a short demonstration, guys, that I wanted to show you. It is a very long video, I know, and I hope you guys enjoyed it, though. I hope you understand where the game is headed, and I hope you give me some feedback. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this. I want to hear your thoughts on everything that you've seen in this video. I want to see what you think could be better, what you think is pretty awesome right now. Guys, thanks for watching, and I think that's it. But I do want to talk about this month. This month, as I said before, we're going to be working on a lot of the under the hood stuff. And what I mean by that is, again, as I said earlier in the video, that we're going to be working on more of the processes, like the marketing campaign and things like that, and fleshing out more the product creation phase. So there's still a lot more polish that has to go into all of these phases. So I've actually taken a short break from the modeling of assets in the game, and I'm now focusing on, in the month of March, under the hood, a lot of the detail stuff, gameplay stuff that I can start to showcase to you once it's all in and ready to go. So guys, thanks. As you can see, they take breaks, and once their breaks are done, they're refreshed and they go back to work. That does have gameplay repercussions, if you will. So if they're on break, they're not working. If they're working, they're not on break, obviously. Clearly. Either way, thanks guys for watching, and I will see you in the next update. Stay tuned. Every Monday I do provide a written update, and every month, once a month at the end of the month, I provide videos like this showcasing our progress. Guys, thanks for sticking in this long video, and I hope to see you soon.